That fiend Thompson came to Portland last night, traded drugs on the stage with innocent children, bragged about beating salmon to death. I don't even fish, you know. Called the president a filthy gerbil, and offered no solutions to the broken and crippled, sad young chaps who brought their families to hear his last pieces of advice before the Armageddon.
I ain't Hunter, it's true, but the man is here. I don't know what I could say to tell you what you do. The phone has been ringing literally off the hook for 5 days, and there's so many people disappointed that they're not here tonight. It's going to be a wonderful evening. He's a great gentleman. It's funny, his agent has been painting him as this horror show, this twisted human being. And it's part of his rap. You know, he gets an extra $500 from me because he says, Hunter Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
You people are in church. I am late, yeah. And I was in Seattle.
So was I.
Yeah. You must have an earlier train. And you didn't break down in despair and personal grief and maggotry as I did. I had a problem with a wino in Seattle. A member of my family. Hey, can you hear me now? Back in the back? No? Well, no, I didn't come here to lecture people on sound. I am not a sound engineer. I'm good at it. I have 80 speakers in my living room, but I don't pretend to be a sound engineer.
What was your mother like?
What was my mother like? You should ask what she is like. She's a wild, heavy, elegant old bitch. Yeah, really a good, a hard rocker. And she's like a third generation Kentuckian. Now, I don't know, there probably such a thing as third generation Oregonians. Lewis and Clark? Yeah?
Too much inbreeding.
Inbreeding? You people have not done well here, have you? No, this is one of my favorite towns. And
So what?
all right, well, it's true, goddammit. I'm not. I don't get mushy very often, and you will pay for that one, whoever that was. I will not get mushy again. You screwed up your face, sir. You're giving me lips. You're making lips at me, I say. I can tell by the cut of your shirt there that you're probably one of those people. Come right in. Perhaps you have a paragraph or two. I'll remember the whiskey with no ice. On some days, you just want to beat the living shit out of somebody. And then have the cops came and clean them out. You little rats. They were locking you through the fence. Hey, man, you can't get out there. Yeah, so how far does this fence go, you know? Of course we can get out. And I started looking down inside it, and he's all the way down to the lake. I took you little swine. It happened to you one of these days. I had the pistol. Anyway, we carried this at all times. And we had, I guess I loaded. Well, I had been loaded up, and finally when the police came, I had to fire it. You know, like a saddle over my back. I figured that these little bastards, people screwing me after the golf course at night. Lumber thieves, plywood thieves. You know, one of these things in the stomach would turn a person around. What can I do? I was behind the fence.
No, I
I
understand.
couldn't call any, I mentioned call a cab.
We've got to get seriously busy here.
Okay. He was calling me every conceivable kind of name. You dirty sock. You dirty, stupid bastard. I found a hole in the fence.
You flaming asshole.
Yeah, well...
Well, we're an hour away from perdition here.
Well...
Not to mention the first edition.
I don't, I guess, what can I say?
Well, fuck this. We'll probably do better without what is this anyway?
That was just the notes that I just was doing anyway. I should get to the typewriter.
There it is.
Yeah. But I was hoping that, you can't see in this cheap fucker, but I tested it when I'm getting something. Now, I was never in that business. Never in the business of managing the national economy, and neither was Ronald Reagan. And what the horror of it is that neither was anybody else. Those people from Wall Street don't care about the national economy. They care about, here comes Don Regan from Merrill Lynch, and what do you think he cares about? The economy in Texas? The price of cotton? No, he cares about what's happening with Merrill Lynch. And he's made chief of staff. He made chief of staff. He and Baker had lunch one day and said, let's trade jobs. Yeah. So Jim Baker, who is the smartest politician functioning in Washington, maybe with his half-bastard brother Howard, those two are the best right now. Baker said, okay, I'll just leave this White House and I'll go to be Secretary of the Treasury, and you take over here. So Reagan, who is into a deep drool once again, I feel sorry for the old man. I really have an affection for him. And he sure has a quality with me, which is a profound intellectual laziness. I suspect with some of you. Yeah, he was a radio sportscaster on the Mississippi River, somewhere out of Illinois. Yeah, he thought of himself as Mark Twain. But Mark Twain didn't try to be president. And you want to remember that it isn't just an actor's job. You know, actors don't really care about their roles. And they can, like Reagan, they can sell light bulbs, they can sell anything, and they can sell Star Wars, apparently. And Ronald Reagan has endorsed the Book of Revelation as a sort of a sketchy guideline for the 80s. I don't know. I really feel sorry for the man because he didn't understand what he's doing. They put him up there and they said, handle this, Dutch. And now he's 76 years old. He almost got away with it. All of his life. He was elected governor of California in 1966, and he handled that for 2 terms, and they called him a genius. Meanwhile, he ran up triple budget deficits in California and never paid any attention to anything. The first thing he did was strip the insane out of all the mental health facilities.
Now we're here.
I bought this silk with shirt. I mean, this shirt was silk with, excuse me, but it's rayon and it's hot. Now, I shouldn't talk too much here. If you want lectures, you really can go to listen to Ronald Reagan, who's very short-winded of late. How many of you believed his statement last week or his speech? How many of you were turned around? Well, when he explained himself on the Terror Commission report. You didn't see it up here? Oh, I don't know. I'd much rather argue than talk. to deal with the police, and then go through all this and never even asked for my license. The cab driver came, and I gave him, I called a cab at the time, and said, hey, I'm stuck in this goddamn golf course on the gate. And when he came in, right behind him was a cop, and the kid came up with a big iron bar. He said, hey, man, don't worry, I have something that'll handle everything for you. And just a minute, and the cab driver said, got away, man, the cops were climbing.
And then you have
I thought, oh, no, we're trying to go out to a hole.
Okay, I don't know.
Which I was.
I'm sitting
In
here.
the typewriter, I had the damn TV set when they did in the back seat in this
I just have things to do.
Firebird. So we looked in,
I bet you did.
the cab driver had his leather bag and 4 golf clubs. In the back here, there's a stolen TV set in the back seat. Didn't mention it. Oh, huh?
That could be good, actually. God. How do we get these things?
I'm calling this AAA.
This car business concerns me very much.
Oliver North is here? He's been everywhere, hasn't he, that bastard? Hey, you talk about a guy who had fun. Oliver North has had about as much fun as anybody has had for about 5 years in government. No one knows who was running the White House. It turns out that Oliver North was running the foreign policy. And Oliver North, for 6 years or so, had the run of the whole world. He could rent Switzerland. He could buy fleets of Danish boats. The government's not involved in Central America. Didn't you hear? Yeah. There's a bunch of renegades who were prowling around naked in the White House basement, fucking the secretaries. And they got no money. Nobody's traced any money to the Contras yet. They said they got $100,000, but it came from somewhere else. Oliver North had 3 days that Ed Meese gave him in order to clear out and shred all the files on this hideous criminal operation that Meese knew all about. There were 4 people who knew about it. It was Meese, Bush, Reagan, and North.
And Fawn Hall.
Probably so, yeah, Fawn Hall. Now, well, she was, that's why they gave her immunity. She didn't know all about it. So they given her immunity on the shredding. So when the whistle was blown on them, when this Syrian paper in Iran blew the whistle on the arms deal, and the rats went wild in Washington after that, Meese said to Oliver North, who had been a real champion, well, he was the Dick Tracy, the hero, everything of the administration. How he did that, I'll never know. So here's Ollie North, who's now putting the 5th, in there with Fawn Hall for 3 days, trying to get rid of the documents. Now, have you seen the documents they got out of there? Ye gods, what came out of there was a monster file of horrible gibberish. And here, what in the hell were they doing down there? Ollie North and Fawn Hall, and probably that son of that Contra, that Cruz, or what's his name, the little maniac who was promising to marry Fawn Hall. Here's a Contra leader in the White House Situation Room, down, in the NSC basement, with the secretary all the time, with Oliver North. And they shredded everything they could, and they tried to get the computer clean, and they couldn't do any of it. George Bush had no fun. all over North had fun.
What was Bush's role?
George Bush's role, I would suspect, my feeling is he's the most guilty of all of them. No, we have a story here that's going to be worse than Watergate, much deeper. That's why I say it by accident.
You're really,
You're with cops, you have to have a flashlight.
Yeah.
I get this little bastard. You know, I can signal people and
Yeah.
I'm going to bring them in. They didn't see the pistol. That might have caused me trouble. It's not illegal, but it's fancy.
Yeah, well, the liquor.
What?
The liquor light.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, then I had to get rid of it,
Most of my beer drinking.
you know, to fire it off.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man.
Although you've never said that.
You need change?
Do we have any cigarettes?
Why aren't you typing?
Because I don't have any cigarettes.
Oh.
Gee,
Oh, man, I tried. Oh. Now, here's the vice president. Yeah, he had a staff aide named Donald Gregg who ran the the first phase of the aid to the Contras operation. And he had that Max Gomez, or alias Max Gomez, Rodriguez, an old-time Cuban anti-Castro Miami type. And these people worked out of Bush's office. And there's an arms sale trial in New York that was canceled about 2 months ago with 17 really bad people on trial for selling arms to Iran for $2 billion. And the reason for it was that George Bush, they said, had okayed the damn thing. Now that was $2 billion. And now they're looking now for 19.5 million, which has clearly disappeared, gone. Garbonafar, you know, ugly little bastard, bad temper. And yeah, they're seizing Khashoggi's airplanes, his Salt Lake City shopping centers. But 20 million is nothing. These people were in for $2 billion, and it was dismissed because George Bush interfered, allegedly, in the evidence procedure. And that McFarlane, really a silly little fart, who, that's true, I'm sorry I get coarse about it, used to work for John Tower as a staff assistant, a man who, ate 30 volumes and thought he would kill him? Shit, Jim Morrison ate 30 volumes for breakfast. It was a lame thing, but we have people who nobody here would drink with. You know, you wouldn't give them a ride in your car if they were hitchhikers and they got in and started saying, well, you're like, what are you doing, man? Where are you going? Well, I'm going to Washington. I'm the National Security Advisor. And, you know, a madman, I give him a ride for a while, but McFarlane and Poindexter were so dumb and so low and ugly and just cheap that you'd put him out at the next crossroads. Almost all politicians and all lawyers should be castrated so their genes should not be passed along.
What about your genes?
My genes? I've been selling them for a long time in a massive sperm bank. Yeah, out of Frankfort, Kentucky. Yeah, the J.C. Penney family runs a sperm bank out of, that's true, out of Frankfurt. And I've been selling my sperm to them for about 13 years. You ask me how I live and how I pay for my drugs and my whiskey? Well, that's how I do it. Why can't I find...
What do you need?
Ashtray.
Take that cup right here.
You know what happens?
That cup right there. Right. You use that thing?
Yeah.
All right.
No, he's been here for a year and what is it called? No.
Red tape.
Kind of living. What do you say?
This is like the repeating myself here. Are you getting something out of that? I don't want to be doubling up on that more.
Yeah, we'll get this to you in just a sec.
All right. David, what are those holes out there on the far corner? 14 and 15?
Yeah, 15, yeah, 14 on end.
Where we got caught in the dark?
Yeah, the ones we played in the dark were 16, 17, and 18.
Okay, 15, 17, 18, and shot for $1,000 there. Yeah.
I remember every lousy sticking shot.
I bet you do, man.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Crippled him. Came into a tee in green in the darkness. He had actually hit a really good shot. I had glanced at mine, he was totally over a tree. So. And he had the hole locked up with like birdie. We sludged up on the green, and I thought I lost my ball. And we came to the green in the darkness. There was my ball like 10 feet up. And I got 180 yards, 7-iron over a huge tree. I couldn't believe it.
Okay, what about the next hole?
The next hole?
Where I hit the...
That's where you drove it into the bushes, right?
No, the par 3 where I hit it to 20 feet. You hit a little squibber, 100 yards from the tee. Hit the second shot over the green. I go get down in 2 for a 3. You're sitting over the green in 20 feet, and you hit a fucking 7-iron chip that takes one bounce and hits the fucking flagstick and drops in like a stone.
Yeah, to the queer and the weird and the lame.
Asshole.
What about Doonesbury?
I never had much to do with comic strips. Well, it depends on your perspective, you know.
What is your perspective?
Well, I can tell you that people grow up in this country wanting to be, firemen and cowboys and pimps, maybe. You never know.
Or sheriff?
But maybe sheriff. But nobody grows up here wanting to be a comic strip character, do they? So I'm a pioneer. And no, I don't like it.
Get a royalty?
Hell no, that filthy little animal. Yeah, his parents sent him to Yale. They slaved and worked. They were humble people. And they sent this boy, they boy to Yale for 4 years. And all he learned to do was to steal other people's work. And I don't know, it's a shock. But I don't pay much attention to it. I was in the middle of covering the Pulitzer divorce trial, which is really covering the Palm Beach. Now, I realize you live out here in this clean, wet air, and it isn't like Palm Beach. And you can't imagine how really corrupt those people are. And that's all I did was explain that Palm Beach is like this. When nobody works, everybody makes $1 million a year just clipping coupons, and they fight over inches of beachfront on the sand. And well, remember that story where the freighter washed up in one of those women's yards? That's Palm Beach. Yeah. She was amused. Sat there. They had 81 Haitians washed up there one day, and they were amused. Yeah, dead Haitians, boat people. Yeah, there's nothing. Palm Beach is a funny place. Yeah, they got a sense of humor that won't quit. And I would never claim they were guilty. I would have to go over to Roxanne's house every night when I had to be in court. The press contingent was so huge, and they had 12 press dates, so you had to be there at 7 in the morning to sign up. No matter who you were, it didn't matter. So I would have to stay up every night at Roxanne's house, and those people would take cocaine in bags like the sort of thing you'd buy in a drugstore with talcum powder, and just shake it out on the kitchen table, and say, well, we have to do it all now because we have to go to court in the morning. That was hard on me. Yeah, they were more excessive than I was. Nixon's the guy who admits now that he did not burn the tapes, and that was his main failure. You know, Nixon was evil. Nixon, he maneuvered. Nixon got to his knees, on his knees at night in the Lincoln Room, and prayed to the portrait of Abe Lincoln. And Nixon made weird deals, with Kissinger at 3 in the morning. Nixon took Manolo, the butler, out at 5 in the morning, saying, after he drunk 3 margaritas, martinis, which was, when Richard Nixon drank 3 martinis, that was it. It was like the rest of us eating a lot of acid. Nixon could not drink. It was not a racial thing or a stature. I wondered about it. It was karmic. And Nixon could not go out with his speechwriters and drink with reporters. He could not mingle. So when he did, he would go utterly nuts at night. And of course, his wife was a question mark, a pretzel of some kind. And his family hated him and abhorred him. So he was left at night with Manolo, the butler. And unlike Reagan, who takes naps and goes to sleep, Nixon didn't. He would prowl the White House at night. And there was a anti-war protest of some kind when Nixon grabbed Manolo and said, let's go out and talk to them. And he went out and talked football to them, something about Ohio State. 15,000 children underneath the Washington Monument. Nixon had a sense of, let's go out and play. Well, not play, but he was a player. Now, Nixon's, he was evil, but he would hurt you. Just to get into the White House to talk to Nixon will keep you real sharp for a long time.
Nixon or North or Meese, it's the same old bullshit. Nothing's ever gonna change.
Well, let me just tell you something, sport, and I agree with you, and I have done that and thought that way before, but let me warn you that this time they are gonna fall apart, and someone's gonna have to pick them up. And this is democracy, and unless you're a foreign national or an agent of a foreign power, and maybe even then, you may be the one to have to pick it up. No, that's we all pray for the Armageddon and the bonfires on the hill and the great shrieking and the, Oh yeah, oh no, we want the action. But we do live there, and we're not gonna die, not all of us, in this Holocaust. And this is a dark thought, and I don't want to ruin your young life, but it's gonna change. But I'm not gonna take care of the change. Ed Meese is not gonna take care of the change. You're gonna be a part of that. Yeah. It is true. The mentality behind the drug. What do you use? What kind of stuff do you use? I'll tell you what I use. I could tell you anything at all, couldn't I? But I'm in kind of a dead-end, ugly mood tonight. I don't catch them and I beat them to death. It's just my. Earl Roberts is going to die very soon, isn't he? What hatred? Al? Big Al. Al ran it for a while. Yeah. He made the mistake of admitting it one day. Yeah. I would kill them all. Well, hey, I don't know what God's going to do. I've always kept a safe distance from him, but... Hey, wait a minute now. What have you been reading? Yeah, there's a ring of truth in what you're getting at, but I don't think I've said these things. I don't want to go to my grave thinking that they all spoke a different language. Maybe the draft should be back, so you'd be really scared. This is a case for the generation of swine, boy. This is a case for the 80s.